Welcome to Take 10. In your ministry toolbox, we're going to talk about publication 526 in the IRS code. You probably never heard of this, but it is important that each year you go out and look for publication 526. What is 526 and 561? These are two publications, charitable contributions and how to devalue or evalue where you're at. It's called the determination of the value of donated property. Very important if you have something other than cash contribution. So someone gives you gifts in kind, gives you office furniture, and they want to write off, they will supply you probably with the value, or you can go online and with your donation certificate, show what that's worth, say a car with the Kelley Blue Book or something. But you are not allowed to evaluate. So you would be saying, always per your evaluation. And I've had some people put some crazy numbers on some donation certificates that I knew that property or that car or that whatever was not worth that kind of money. But it's not my evaluation. It's their evaluation. And when they get to their CPA or when they get to arbitration with the IRS, it has nothing to do with URI. And that's why I say you need to stay abreast of publication 526, just make a note, or go back and listen to this again, and publication 561, to see if there's any changes, so they do change from year to year. But here's a good point. Did you know that you have eligibility for a bulk mailing permit? That you can do bulk third-class non-profit mailing permit, and it authorizes you to do bulk mailing at a greatly reduced rate. This helps. Now, I know we rely on social media, email a lot, but it's still nice for families to hold something in their hands, or business owners to hold that in their hands, that you do that. And did you know that that is an expensive proposition if you're sending out any more than 1,000? So you would want to know that you can go and get that bulk mailing permit right now with your papers that you have in your corporate book. So, now, you are liable, and this particular paper that's being shown to you on the screen tells you you are liable for Federal Insurance Contribution Act or Social Security. So we're going to talk about in a completely different session how to handle payroll, how that money comes out in the form of payroll. But you are, and we are straight up front with you, that you are responsible for any remuneration of $100 or more that you pay your employees, or if you have a speaker in, you must give them either a 1099 or a W-9. And we're coming to that down the way in your ministry toolbox. But right up front, we want you to know that anything over $100, you have an obligation to pay a part of that if they're an employee. You are not liable for tax that is imposed under what's called FUTA, or Federal Unemployment Tax Act. So if you're paying into federal unemployment, it becomes a choice of your corporation or your church to do that, or to file for the exemption of not filing. And if you speak to your tax preparer, your tax professional, or you speak to the people that we're going to talk about, the payroll services, they will know exactly what to do that, and you will not be in an unemployment situation where you have to pay unemployment. Now, there's some states that vary. California has a very different project, but always get with a local tax preparer or CPA to talk to them about how you stand with FUTA. The federal tax, you are exempt from. State tax, there may be several things, and I can think of several states right now that do you have some obligation. But know all of that, because that brings you strength, and you can be a good steward of that. You need an employee identification number even if you do not have employees. That EIN number is just like it's your organization's social security number. I mean, you know your social security number. Well, your EIN number is the number for your organization. Now, if salaries do come out, that is the number that you use as well as that. But you use that EIN number for many things. You use it for, they will ask for it at different banking institutions, they will ask for it. Sometimes where state sales tax is not, where state sales tax number or certificate is not available, they will want your EIN number in that state. Now, we as ICCI must report that EIN number to the Internal Revenue Services. You are not an ICCI church. You are a corporation all on your own, registered under the group exemption number of the independent Christian churches, which means you are responsible for all of those things. Well, how do we keep that separate? Number one, your EIN number. That shows that you have a good standing and a good honor with the ICCI, and that we have seen all your created documents. Well, I hear people say, well, I got an EIN number. Yes, and that's connected to your Social Security number. There is a way to understand other things about that. Yes, you use your Social Security number as a form of identification on getting an EIN number, but you want to make very well sure that that EIN number becomes the number from then on and not your Social Security number in all kinds of business banking, real estate transactions, and I could go on and on and on, because that's where tax liability does or does not come to you or to the organization. So every year before September 30th, we have to file. And shortly on the screen is going to come up a picture. But we have to file with the IRS, and we'll talk about that just now. If your church or organization is not in good standing with us as a subordinate member, then we are required to report that fact to the Internal Revenue. Now, there was a time when they did this lazy, hazy, daisy thing, because that number is connected to all kind of bank accounts, all kind of stuff, all kind of things that people just misrepresent. So we do report that you are not in good standing, and then you will not be listed, and failure to report this jeopardizes the exemption status of the ICCI. Well, we're not going to jeopardize our exemption status because you fail to keep in good standing with us. That's your responsibility and the responsibility of your organization, so that we can make our timely filing through our lawyer. Our attorney will make that report to the IRS every year before September 30th. Now, once you've been reported as a member of that, you will be a subordinate member of the ICCI. And on your screen right now, you're seeing our documentation. It's in your book, it's in your corporate book, and in that documentation, it shows our determination letter from the IRS. The reason you need this is because it's the sandwich. You put that on top, you put your subordinate on the bottom, and the meat in the middle is all the work that you do as a subordinate operation. If you look carefully at it in your book, it goes down and shows our EIN. You cannot use our EIN. You cannot use our DLN. It's a different qualifications. Our contact person is not your contact person. Your contact person is our office. And then we are not required to file a Form 990, which we will discuss in later times. So, if you read this very carefully, it will tell you what we, as your backbone, is. And it goes all the way back to 2014, where we received our new things, and tells you our thing. Now, very important is a picture that's going to come up. During the calendar year in which you applied to ICCI and were granted exemption by the IRS through the ICCI's group exemption number, you will not be on the IRS website. Many times you go into a situation and they'll look up on IRS Select Check. Well, Select Check, you put the EIN number of the organization and it doesn't come up. You say, well, I thought I was exempt. Your banker looks at you funny. Well, the difference is that people that get a determination letter from the IRS directly and file 990s, or in some cases do not, rare cases, then those people will be on Select Check. But you are in another division right along with all those other people, and the IRS doesn't make it easy for you to find where you are. But when we give you the link, you can go straight to your link. Now, this won't come in the first year that you applied to us. We have to file on September 30th. After September 30th, in the first quarter of the next year, then you will appear, and the picture that you see on the screen right now, you see Moms Against Hunger is right in the IRS website, and then we will send that to you after you send your dues in, and after we send you your verification for the next year. We will also send, if we have it yet, and as soon as we get it, we will show you how to get to the website of the IRS. It's perfect. It works perfect. You show that link to the banker. You show that link to a foundation or a grant that you're trying to receive, and they see that you are right in the middle of all the other bills. So as they take that picture down, let me just say to you, this has been a great day. It's been a great day to talk to you about the different charitable publications that you need to look for, to know that you can have a bulk permit, to know that you are in good standing, and to know how to find your documentation. And after your first year, how you are in the website of the IRS along with all the other 501c3 corporations. And the only thing different is they'll see your group exemption number, which is 6037, which is the ICCI. And no one ever sees that. They just see that you're listed in the IRS, and that makes you a valid organization. Until that time, we write the letter to whoever you need it written to that will help verify that you are a member and in good standing with us and are awaiting our reporting to the IRS and awaiting them, who are slow as a turtle in a tub of peanut butter, but during the first quarter of the years, they get you on the website. And then as long as you are in good standing with us, that name will appear there year after year after year. Unfortunately, we have some that fall off every year. And then after it falls off, guess what? Some blessing comes through and all of a sudden they need it, and we're in a disadvantage to get them back where they need to be in the IRS website. So this is all very technical. I want you to learn your toolbox and be a part of the right character and right integrity of the kingdom of God. God bless you. I'll talk to you again on the Ministry Toolbox when Take 10 takes off tomorrow. God bless.